live in a country defined by opportunity. Opportunities to create financial independence, to innovate where free enterprise is encouraged, to start one's life anew, to create wealth and happiness and personal security. Yet beneath our country's growing prosperity, there are a number of seemingly intractable problems that plague and continue to plague our communities. Growing unemployment, a struggling educational system, poor air quality, increased drug abuse, water shortages, financial stress on our public systems, businesses struggling to compete in a global market. At varying levels, these problems are experienced across the country, but they are uniquely and deeply experienced by the people living in the San Joaquin Valley. Community leaders came to understand, as in many other communities, that the issues facing the San Joaquin Valley are extremely complex, multifaceted, and deeply entrenched. Most of these issues require a coordinated effort in order to achieve sustainability and vitality within the community. These issues might include key elements like public safety, neighborhood vitality, an educated and growing workforce. No single institution, government representative, or community benefit organization has full domain over all of these important elements. There's no magic wand that any single leader or group, a particular industry, can wave to address all of these factors.
Well, you know, it's such an interesting time to lead and try to make progress for our community. And I know those of us here at City Hall and so many people in Fresno, we're committed to moving Fresno forward regardless of what's going on with economic cycles. There will always be, you know, not enough money. So we learned a long time ago in Fresno that you can't just rely on money as a crutch. You have to always find a way to get done what you want to get done with limited resources. And frankly, that's how I think we've really mastered the art of collaboration here in the Fresno area. And collaboration is kind of a fancy word, but bottom line is it means we get better outcomes and we spend less money.
This leads to the first insight that Fresno's community leaders came to. That is, they must consciously decide to plan, think, collaborate, and work together to solve these problems.
Well, as an engaged university, we believe we have a responsibility to connect with this region and to use the resources that the university community has in order to help focus on problems and solutions to those problems that we can be of help.
After experiencing the results of bringing people together to share ideas, to share experiences, and to share knowledge, community leaders outlined a 4 spheres framework as a way for community leaders to see and communicate how most activity in a community is deeply interconnected. First, there is economic development. This includes entrepreneurs, workforce development, companies that design, build, and provide new products and services. Next, they identified infrastructure development. This refers to land use, transportation, air and water quality, issues mostly related to city and government planning efforts. The third sphere is human development. This includes public safety, healthcare, education, and workforce readiness. Most importantly, these 3 spheres are surrounded by a 4th sphere that represents coordinated, dedicated, clear-thinking leadership. This sphere includes individuals and organizations focused on bringing the efforts from the other 3 spheres together in a unified direction. While each sphere is closely related, leaders in each sphere tend to operate at their own pace with unique leadership styles, have access to different resources, and bring varied experiences to the table.
I think the 4 spheres model has really been more of a journey than an event. In the beginning, we thought if we just focused on economic development, everything would be fine. But over the years, people started to realize that there were really 3 areas of focus you had to work together on. Each one was equally important, and you can't get them to work together behind strategies without a 4th sphere that holds them all together.
After various discussions, they began to realize the importance and need for a common language and agreed upon set of community values to govern the behaviors of the leaders and institutions in the community.
Well, we're trying to get people out of their silos, out of working in pure self-interest, and trying to see the community as a whole and make decisions more in that light.
You know, the community values started as just a simple list of attributes and characteristics that we were all willing to commit to as individuals working on behalf of the community, not something we intended to spread or to impose on anybody outside of a few people who are working on the Fresno Area Collaborative Regional Initiative. But it was so changing. It was like shining a floodlight on the political, civic, and cultural institutions in Fresno. As we started looking at those domains through the lens of the community values, it became very clear where, as a community, we had not lived up to those values in the past, and we could start to see the consequences of that. So as a small group of us just committed ourselves to those values, we started to have more productive meetings, we had more strategic thinking going on, we were more focused on outcomes and not just on status quo, and it was really, really enlightening and allowed us to see things in a completely different way and really move forward.
Being an American citizen, there is a responsibility to your community. There's a responsibility of understanding how your community works, who the leadership is, where your community is going. And as a citizen, it's taking an active role, not pointing out and shaking your finger of what you don't like or what needs to be fixed, but stepping up and saying, how can I help? Where do I fit in? And where are we going? And let's do it.
Whether we live in a time of recession or prosperity, linking resources becomes a powerful way for leveraging what we already have. The community leaders gained this insight and began to realize that collaboration was the only way to bring resources together that might otherwise appear to be scarce or non-existent.
I think the reality is it's time to take it to another level and really get serious about co-laboring with one another, not just talking. That's an important first step, and I think the last decade has really been all about breaking down silos and making sure that people are talking and understand one another's plans and resources. The next step is truly co-laboring and stopping to do some of the things that maybe you don't do as well, picking up some of the work in areas where you actually are excellent, and allowing some partner organizations to kind of fill in the gaps.
In California's San Joaquin Valley, big rocks have been turned over. Leaders are working together, and monumental change is happening. Many community leaders took a fresh look at the four spheres, and they saw that there was actually a bigger picture. And as they saw that bigger picture, they saw hidden resources that had never been seen before that has led to unexpected pathways to success.
We're learning that entrepreneurs aren't just about founding businesses that are profitable and fill niches, but that we can take that same method, that same enthusiasm, that same goal-oriented, never quit, keep going to the end, stick-to-itiveness, and apply it to social problems for our communities with a net gain.
No matter where you are on the spectrum of community transformation, you have assets in your community. You just need to start with identifying what those assets are, whether they be civic leaders in certain key positions, whether it be a great industrial base, whether it be a thriving cultural arts sector. Really start from an asset-based approach, do the analysis and collect the list of what those assets are, and then just start convening and asking people if they aren't ready for things to be different in your community.
How does this story relate to you? Change occurs when individuals are committed to their communities, and the tipping point occurs when those individuals join together with a common vision based on the four spheres. Transforming our country will happen one community at a time.